Rob, can you hear me?
I can indeed. Yeah, how you doing? All right.
Fantastic, man. Let's get to work. Let's do this.
Nice one. Yeah. So there's a sort of 15 minutes or so to go. Let me just screen share.
Yeah.
And I'll just talk you through the two things that I sent over. So number one, and it's very rudimentary, is basically just starting off a new document I want to be able to send over to Chris from Friday, who's starting this on Monday. And it needs to have in like the key things that he needs and the list of deliverables we want built. So basically, like the short version is we kind of want a version of looks rare, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I was thinking, I mean, looks rare can change over time. So we're going to need to describe to him exactly what we mean by that in terms of like, it could be that we screenshot it and then we move the screenshots for that onto, I mean, a good example is like explore and collections, maybe search, yeah, rewards, no, because we're not doing that. So if we're featuring one, we need to let them know that, like, are we actually doing the top collections? If we are, then things like floor, total volume, 24-hour volume, we need to start scraping that now from OpenSea because we haven't got that data.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a case of sort of like doing a process where we probably screenshot stuff like this, and then give it a home and a place where we can comment it up. And I think basically that is probably just one massive, great big Miro board. Unless you've got any.
No, that's good. That's good. So what we're doing now, Rob, is setting up expectations for what the MVP is, so that Skygate knows what to deliver.
No. So to clarify, right? Okay, this is an internal chat, just you and me.
Okay.
And what I want you to understand is what the deliverables I want you to help collate ready for Chris from Friday to start designing on Monday. It's got nothing to do with Skygate.
Okay.
So Skygate at the moment are just busy working on the thing as defined in Asana. This is a case of saying, okay, well, core marketplace, OG cards, tweaking up the identity, the iOS and Android app, what does it need next, and the brand dashboard. Those are the 5 things that we can't build because we're blocked by design. So writing these briefs is the core bit, and it's probably one big brief where we basically just like say, and that's what this is. This is like a single brief document that lists out the things that need to get designed over the next 3 weeks, and then provides any kind of like key reference points and stuff like this. Mm-hmm. And then out of it, there'll be some parallel technical things where we can go away and start getting data points that we'll need to populate it as well in parallel. But if all that comes out of this is a single doc, which Chris, the designer, without context, can read this document and then start in Figma on Monday morning, then that's the end goal for our current project we're discussing. So I've added you on the Miro. I just called it like product Q1. There's some other stuff in here as well, like who's developing it, they need the brief, so they need design. Have we like got enough legal content? Like for a lot of these, we're going to need terms and conditions, or we're going to need like a view on stuff. So, but you can ignore the purple and blue ones. It's just about writing these 5 components into that document. That makes sense?
Yep, kind of. So you're saying, sorry, man, because my mind has been into the marketplace and Skygate. So it takes me a little second to get the big picture here. So this is you acting as product owner of everything fair.
Yeah, it's taking the high level roadmap items, right, and then just saying, okay, well, we've got a short term sprint, we've got 3 weeks, and we've got some critical stuff. What are the bits from the roadmap that need to get designed in order to unblock development? So stuff like Metaverse Connect is not, it's basically like on the roadmap, mm-hmm. but we shouldn't be focusing on that because we don't need to ship it in order to survive, right? The most important thing is getting the marketplace web app and the OG cards live. Those are the 2 things that unleash the token sale, and then everything all takes off from there. So I'm doing a bit of prioritization where I'm like, it's a brand dashboard. We want to have some designs for it, but we don't expect it to be built. So that one's kind of sitting halfway between the worlds, which needs us to capture that info somewhere and probably put that into the brief. So we're going to need a longer session than this one, but that was just a brief summary for you on what what I think we need to do next in terms of. And I think we've probably got others joining us on the call now. So
Okay, so wait a second. Oh, okay, I'll take a look at what you've done, and I'll ask you if any questions. I'm still a little bit confused as to your expectation from me here.
Yeah, no, sure. Okay, that's fine. We can pick that up after we finish this call with the guys. I mean, they didn't join, so we've got a little bit longer.
Alrighty, man.
Some of this is info that I don't really want to share with Skygate, and several of them are about to join the call.
Alrighty.
So let's just explain what's happening short term. Two of the guys from Skygate are joining, and they're the ones who said, "I want the data for the OpenSea scraped NFTs and like collections.
Mm-hmm.
I want them in this format," and they gave me a JSON file to populate that.
Yep.
Okay. So Clock have gone away and they've written a scraper. They've got around all the kind of scraping protection mechanism, and they can grab all the data from OpenSea and send us back a JSON file.
Okay,
so I've sent a copy of that JSON file to Skygate. They've reviewed it, and they're now going to tell us what they need done differently about it, how they intend to get the application to pull that in. Because you may find that there's more work than we need to do, or it uncovers some like hosting, some misunderstanding. So the two guys from Clock are joining as well. I've joined them all using their email. So from their point of view, they don't know who works for what or where. But it's just a case of saying, like, you guys wrote the scraper, you guys want the scraper data, speak to each other and tell them what you want, or is it purpose? Then great.
Okay.
Alrighty. Now, originally we were talking about wanting the top 100 by trading volume. And this is where, like, if we actually want that data, then that's fine, they can do it, but it's additional work. So I just need to explain to Clock, yes, we definitely want that data. So get us the trading volume for each of these. In which case, what they would do is walk OpenSea's data to find every trade, or potentially use the graph to walk the blockchain and look back through every transaction history for each item.
Mm-hmm.
And then from that, they can see, build it into an array, look at was it in the last 24 hours, add that onto a total count of the thing, then look at it. You see what I mean? So they're actually creating trading volume from first principles by looking at time and actual on-chain trades.
Nice.
Which could be anywhere. It doesn't need to be on OpenSea. The advantage of that is it could be trading on Nifty Gateway or another vendor.
Nice.
Or just wallet to wallet. We'd still pick it up if we scratch it from the blockchain. So
cool.
I think that work probably has value, but if they're not going to use it, there's no point in us doing that work at this point in time, because it might not be the most elegant way to get hold of it. And our job is to focus all these resources on the critical path job to be done to make sure we get marketplace live. And I think we probably do need this. I think we're probably going to need to say to Clock, okay, well, get us. So am I still screen sharing? Yeah. Okay. So basically, like, for each collection, we want the floor price in ETH. We want the total volume ever traded in ETH. We want the 24-hour volume in ETH, and the change expressed as a percentage.
Mm-hmm.
And if we kind of again, that'll just need writing into a brief. They'll go away and crack on with it. The more I talk that through, that's actually the way to do it, isn't it? Just keep it exactly the same as looks rare.
Yep.
So that we've got the data points to find, and we don't have to. So for each individual one, they'll have the current top offer.
Mm-hmm. So Clock is working on getting the data, and then you want Skygate to implement for the MVP launch.
Yeah. So basically, their application that's running on app.fair.com now has some test NFTs in it.
Yeah.
But what I want is for them to write some routine that takes a JSON file from Clock and then makes a page for every single one of the imported items, right?
Uh-huh.
And so they've got enough data now to be able to say, okay, I'm going to write a routine that walks that JSON file, creates a thing for it, and then pushes it live. But from experience, if they haven't actually thought this through, then there may be an importer that they need to write. They might not have started yet. or
Uh-huh.
there may be like application constraints where it can only deal with 100 and it'll fall over or something.
Totally.
So
Yeah, yeah.
when they actually do that import and execute it, they may find more things that they want Clock to achieve.
Uh-huh.
And so that's the purpose of this call, is like just to say,
Okay.
how do they actually intend on getting that JSON shape to, do they want a flat file on disk
Yeah.
that they're going to import?
Yeah.
Or do they want Clock to host it somewhere and then patch it with new ones every 5 minutes? What's the cadence?
Yeah. Sounds definitely challenging from the Skygate perspective, especially that they had 4 guys working over the weekend to apparently have a demo for us today, and they couldn't do that. So adding this complexity is kind of scary for me, but I mean, definitely.
Yeah, so the intention of taking the scraping away from them was to put it with Clock, who know what they're doing and can get around. They were saying, OpenSea got these protections. If you know what you're doing, that's not a problem. So I just said, fine, okay, well, we'll give you that data. But there is still that job to be done, which they may have missed, to import that into the application in a meaningful and reliable way.
Yeah.
So that's I just need
those
to merge.
Sure, got it. I sent you a link of a task in Slack. Do you want to add a couple of sentences there
on this one,
or should we add a new card?
No, I think that's absolutely fine. Yeah. So that's defining the job, and then I just want to get into the nitty gritty details now of like exactly what their strategy is for doing that,
and acceptance criteria.
We'll update that. That card is the right place to kind of update, any agreements.
Yep. Yeah. Acceptance criteria. If you can add it, that would be awesome, because Oksana is starting to kind of complain about not having clear acceptance criteria from us.
Yeah, I think this one is pretty clear in that the application should display all of the NFTs that are provided in the import from Clock.
Yeah.
But it's a question to come out of this call as to whether or not that is an expectation that it will update every minute, or whether or not it will only update on deploy.
Yeah.
It depends on how basic the integration is and whether they've actually thought this through. They probably just haven't thought it through.
They didn't think about it at all. I mean, my gut feeling currently is that they haven't done any work about this, So I think we should give them the most simplistic solution so that they can execute. Yeah. Think of them as Indian developers, not in a bad way, like just have to tell them, babysit them.
Yeah, I know what you mean by that. As in, different time zone, different language, but
yeah. I'm scared with this one.
People always think that you get better. Like some of the best devs in the world are all over the place from every nationality. It's not about where they're from. It's their structure, their attitude.
Yeah, exactly. They can execute, but they cannot really find solutions from the architectural perspective.
Yeah. So we have a plan for sure, but my thing is I always do really design-led stuff, because I think you miss the conceptual integrity of what you're trying to build and why, unless you can look at like a glossy prototype and be like, yes, this is what I'm making, here are the fields that I need, and kind of that manual is missing when you don't do design-driven development.
Yeah.
So that's what I want to shift by putting this kind of like heavy Clock design sprint. Out of it will come mobile, desktop, tablet, artwork states for a kind of cohesive application that you click around and reason about, even if it's not built yet. And that will accelerate the development. And it also generates deliverables. It's really useful for Luis when he's doing sales. You can just go, it works like this. And it doesn't matter if it's offline or it's not on staging, or like, because you can just rely on the design asset. While we're waiting for them, this is just a little sneak peek. You can still see my screen, can't you?
Yep.
So this is like the design process that I'm working through with Clock at the moment on the Allkind website. So they're basically forking a template, and then they sent me like a couple of different like ways of interpreting the custom pages.
Yeah.
And I've gone, not that one, pick that one, and then sort of given it a bit of direction from that one.
I love it. Yeah, it's so fresh and elegant.
they're good designers. They're really, and I like this new font. So Larkin it's called. So I basically said that font, that way of doing it. Give them a bit of instruction about how to make the menu better, and then they were intending on having the all kind like drop page, kind of a separate website. So it'd be like drop.allkind.com or something like that. But actually, my feedback on this was no, merge it into the main all kind website. So it'd be like /collab/fair, and then it's okay to still do this kind of style where you have a page that you scroll down with the additional information. But do that as a page within the master template instead of on a subdomain because it's better for SEO.
Yeah,
and it's So they're busy. They're busy working up the next round of designs on this, and they're blocked by things like what are the specific value items, like what copy am I trying to get across. So but it gives you an idea of their design process. They always go like sketches, try and make sure they've got a common understanding of it.
Yeah.
Then they'll back up some visuals, and then from that, they'll come back with a clickable prototype. And then
I know, yeah, it's fantastic. No, man, I'm extremely happy with the work of Clock and Dork. It's just exceptional. I can't wait for us to be free of Skygate.
Yeah, yeah, I know. It's just going to become practical to actually do stuff like Gantt charts because at the moment there's just no point, is there?
Yep. Alrighty. Just to have clear expectations, you want me to talk to Oksana, give her a little bit of clarification of what you intended with the JSON file?
No, that's the purpose of this call. So we'll capture it and we'll stick it on the Sana.
Alrighty.
So I'll stop sharing my screen for now, and then hello, Jakob.
Hi.
Oksana, thanks for joining us. Just wait.